there are three gauges that the driver need check periodically: the oil pressure gauge, the coolant temperature gauge, the exhaust temperature gauge, and the RPMs, the tachometer. This is very, very important. Those gauges, especially oil pressure gauge and temperature gauge, are critical. Those are the gauges that should be located, appropriated in the console of the boat in order to be 100% sure that those parameters are in optimal conditions. Always follow the manufacturer recommendations, because if you try to replace the oil for other oil that a friend of you recommend, probably you affect the internal quality of the seals, the gasket, the O-rings, and immediately you have a leak, or you affect the performance of the engine and immediately the compression goes down and the temperature goes up and the engine stops suddenly, and you have a check engine code. When you check the code is high temperature. In turbulent flow, like this slide, this turbulent flow is propense to ingress of air, bubbles, and the bubbles are the enemy of all the fluids. The intrusion of air is the enemy of all the fluids. Foaming. We are going to avoid foaming. In other chapters, we are going to talk about the fuel systems. In diesel engines, a small bubble of air in the fuel, block the fuel injection pump, and the engine stops suddenly. For that reason, you hear that after the fuel filters replacement, you need bleed the system. You need eliminate the bubbles. If not, the engine not start. You crank, and the engine not start. What type of torque wrench is recommended? We are going to talk later. Probably the click torque wrench is good. It's not expensive. If you want to buy the digital is a good choice, and it's a good solution. You remember in the previous class, in introduction, I explained in details all of those tools. This is only a refresh of the tools that we are going to use. We need a good ball hammer. We need a bronze hammer. We need a plastic hammer. We need a rubber hammer. We need chisels. We need blades in order to remove gaskets, and we need impact tools, impact band, 3/8 and half, and we need adapters to convert from 3/8 to half or 3/8 to quarter, different adapters. If you check in the top row of this slide, you have standard measurements, and in the bottom you have metric. I want that you be familiarized with what size is similar to the other one in the other measurement system. For example, I need that you be familiarized that the half wrench is similar to the 13. The 7/16 is similar to 11. It's similar, it's not equal. It's similar, it's pretty close, but it's not exactly the same. The 3/8 is pretty close to 10. The 5/16 is pretty close to 8. Oh, the 9/16 is 14. 5/8 is 16. 11/16 is similar to 17, and 3/4 is pretty similar to 19. I want that you be familiarized with those similarities in between one system and the other one, because in some cases the wrench at half have a little play, but when you replace the wrench for 13, no play. My friends, the enemy the enemy of the torque procedure is when the socket or the wrench is loose. If the socket or wrench is loose, it's because this is not the measurement appropriated for that bolt. You need check in the other system, probably with the other socket in different system. You don't have play. If you have play and you apply the torque, you damage the head of the bolts.